Hey everyone. So I'm Laura McGee. I'm the director on If Found, and yeah, I'm really excited. We're gonna have a look back at the game and do a little director's commentary. I am joined by Alexandra Day, who's been helping put this together and does our socials and all that kind of thing. Do you want to say hey?
Hey everybody.
Uh, I've also got Leah Young, our lead illustrator,
Hello.
our lead coder,
Hello.
and Eve, who is the co-writer and co-producer with me.
Hello.
So here's like a lovely starting image, but without further ado, I'll just hop straight into the game. Okay, so now the game is loaded with a seamless transition edited by Alex. And yeah, we're gonna start erasing. We are presented with the logo and an eraser. I remember when we added this, and I wasn't sure if Annapurna would be like, oh no, you can't erase our logo, but they loved it. They thought it was really cool.
It is fun.
It's a great tutorial.
Yeah.
Because you can't break it. Like there's no way to fail.
Yeah, I like tutorials which aren't just like here's the controls and stuff. There is that, like on the Switch version, it shows you which the buttons do. But it's nice that it's something that you discover yourself, I think. Although I think probably we could have like upfronted some of the, like you can make the array size bigger and such. Like I wanted to not have a start screen, and have it just jump straight into the game. Probably, I mean, our menu is cool, but like I didn't want to start with a menu, and like maybe there was like a middle ground we could have done where we just had like a very simple menu the first time you play or something.
Well,
Let
we
people.
have the control selection thing on PC, right?
Yeah, that's there. That's there. And it's there on iOS too, but sometimes people just don't go to it. They're like, oh, I'm playing the
Right.
game.
That's the thing. People don't necessarily think to check. Like I know from the Switch port we added the full screen arrays.
Right.
But I don't think many PC players ever found it because it's not like clearly indicated to them.
Yeah, so here's like your first secret. I think it's the F key for paying respects. But if you hit the F key on the PC, this happens. Which is like our
Yeah.
magical auto arrays, which is cool.
Yeah, so we recorded the mouse for like, how many did we do? Like 100 or something? Different ways of
Yeah.
clearing the screen.
I need to go further. I really like this intro. Like this piece of art was by Brianna Chu, who is also like a really cool artist on the game. Was it one of the first things that they did? I don't know. It was pretty early on we had it.
Yeah.
I think so.
Because we had it for our first like kind of reveal trailer back in 2019 in September.
Yeah.
And this is cool here. You can see the little portal that we're just going to go into. Also, I really like there's all like the warping effects and stuff.
Yeah.
Only one more jump, and I will be the first to reach. ... Planet X.
So that's also something that we should talk about, right? Where we wanted to use the medium to like evoke some motion and movement where if it's just a flat image, there's nothing there.
Yeah. Like you can see like as we go between all these different scenes, like the camera, it isn't just like one screen after another that you're erasing. Like you are like the game is moving, and you're like zooming in, and actually like there is like ridiculous levels of zoom in the game. Like you go from like 1 to I think like 3 million or something scale, and then that actually gets bigger because it like kind of joins them all together. Planet X. I saw a thing recently actually, which was that I think there was more evidence that dark matter, not dark energy, but dark matter could be primordial black holes, much like the one that could be on the edge of our solar system, also known as Planet X.
Oh.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing for real life.
Exactly.
Isn't it Planet 9 now?
Yeah, but X like doesn't necessarily mean a number.
It used to be very convenient because it was both like Planet 10 and Planet Mystery. Now it's just Planet Mystery.
Yeah.
Pluto got demoted.
I like this zoom
I do
here.
really like. Yeah.
This here, like this piece of art you want to see for a split second is one of the oldest Casios. It's like a little memory. And that shows like the scale of the zooming. Like we're not actually making the art smaller or bigger, like as you might imagine. We're actually making you zoom in farther and farther.
Yeah, the camera's doing the work.
Here with this, like we had like so many different versions of how we transition. I mean, I like that we open up the space section because it's like I wanted to start with this like, across the galaxy thing, and it's dramatic and the music is good. It's one of the first pieces that like Matt/Tumelo made. It's like this kind of drum and bass thing. Actually, it was the first piece of music that he made. But then how we got to the diary was kind of something that like shifted and changed. We had like a 3D diary for a while.
It's true.
We had a lot of different 3D diaries.
Yeah. And then they just looked like too gamey or something. And also there was like issues with them. Here you can see foreshadowing maybe the ending of the game. This is the fireplace. This is where it all ends up. And you know, I guess one reading is that this is Cassio reading it at that point in time, looking back essentially.
Yeah.
I think next time it'd be nice to do voice acting so that if we do it Let's Play, we don't have to read it. This book...
I don't think we have to read it anyway.
No, well, I'll read some of it. This book belongs to somebody. I think that was like a placeholder line that kind of just got stuck in there.
Yeah.
This is one of our older pieces of art too. Then this art was from the trailer also.
Yeah. I love that drawing though of Cassio looking
Yeah, it's nice.
up to her eyes.
And we actually we scouted. Oh look, you can see my friends playing some kind of game. We scouted locations in Ackle for where it would be, so we know we've based it on a real house if anyone can find it. I think the drawing is like maybe not quite accurate to the real house. I think some of the later drawings are, but we know where Cassio lived, which is kind of creepy.
It's true.
Here we can see really
Cassio's stalkers.
When is this drawing? This feels like an older drawing as well, Leah.
That's from back when. That's from an early chapter of the Twins.
Oh,
that takes the 2017, I think.
The Twins, by the way, for anyone who didn't work on the game.
Exactly, I wasn't sure what to say. Doesn't make any sense.
No, that's okay. That's like the Nosferatu. That's the band that we play. That you see playing later. They originally the story. Why is it not triggering? Oh, I gotta erase this too. Our own game, and I can't trigger it. It's like we gotta erase everything. I forgot.
Yeah, that's one thing that we worked a lot on.
Yeah.
Like people had a feeling that they could get stuck a lot.
Yeah. So we had to like make it like somewhat like how did it work originally? Because like we came up with the whole system that it detects where you were raised. Like we had something before that.
Like trigger boxes and stuff?
Didn't we have something before trigger boxes?
And then we changed how the trigger boxes work.
Yeah. So we had a really cool system where there's like a version where you can... look at that. You can see the grid. So I think we're going to do another video where I'm going to show some of the source like Unity stuff and go behind the scenes. So I'll show it in that. But like you can select where and where not you have to erase. The annotations are kind of cool actually. It like detects in the text when there is like the little annotation symbol, which is nicely like a cross. The little dagger it's called. Oh yeah. There's also this effect which wasn't intentional, but it's intentional that we kind of like left it in where things start to get unerased. I kind of like it.
We intentionally didn't fix it.
Yeah, exactly. It is a very nice effect.
Yeah. I don't think we ever figured out exactly, because we decided not to fix it, we never figured out exactly why it was happening.
Some kind of movement or something. Games are strange beasts, like you really have to tame them.
Also note that you get the most annotations in the English version.
Yes.
And other localizations you get way less. Sorry.
That's because like in the English version there's like things that aren't translated that get translated in the other versions, basically.
Yeah.
So like kind of the structure of the game is this jump between seeing the diary section such as this where you get like a lot of story really quickly and it's like very personal as like Cassio's point of view, and then we're going to jump into like a kind of memory where it is like a more emotional or more intense, but it's like it's not necessarily, it's kind of like the diary coming to life a little bit.
Yeah.
Good memories. For what it's worth. Tea, hot water bottle, say your prayers, sleep tight.
And
Mommy.
again, notice that the camera is constantly slowly moving towards
Yeah.
where your cursor is. Always something is moving. It's never static.
Yeah.
Um,
Here you can see some of like the fuzzy effects on this drawing as well, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wee. It is just satisfying erasing all the bits. Sunday. But like here you can see like the repurposing of like bits that we made, and you know, like the process of writing the story was like a lot of iteration and then pulling things together, and then once we had the final story, it's like, oh, what all pieces of art that like Leah has done over the last few years could we use? So yeah, there's probably some surprises, Leah, that you probably didn't remember or weren't expecting to be in the game.
Oh, definitely. They just appeared as I was shown.
Sad on Keem Bay. Keem Bay is like a place that comes up a lot, and it is a real beach in on Achill, the very edge of Achill. And yeah, Colm and Jack are interesting characters. Like they kind of before Cassio was just kind of having one-off encounters with different characters, and then we realized we needed some recurring characters, and that became Colm and Jack. And they really stuck around. It was kind of nice to have these older LGBT characters that Cassio could look up to. This is based on Keem Bay as well, or is it based on... No, it's based on... It's kind of similar. Maybe it's based on something else. There's a little lighthouse at the end there. Here you can see like also the color, the post-processing change is all purple now. We wanted to do that in more scenes, but also the color just looked weird, so...
Yeah, it actually required a lot of work to get it to look good.
And here in the background you can see there's like the pencil effect, which was something that went through a lot of changes too.
It's true.
I wonder if there'll ever be a speedrun of the game.
It's like 10 seconds, right?
Well, if you unlock the chapters, yes. You can go to the options
Yes.
and unlock the final chapter. Yeah, like rubbing through the scribbles is really satisfying. We could have broke that up into more
Yeah.
layers. And then here is our transition into a chapter.
What's also is that when you erase the diary, a lot of people don't want to erase it fully because they feel like it's a precious thing.
Yeah.
So they feel very conflicted about it. Like for
Yeah.
you, it's very satisfying, but for others, it really isn't.
Well, I think like I'm more dissociated, Tim.
I mean, we have played this game for
This is true.
hundreds of hours.
Yeah,
So
it's
there's
true.
I think there's a journey where I think it's interesting is that people start off kind of nervous, but they get more comfortable doing it, and then it's like the end happens, and then they get nervous again, you know? And it's like, oh crap, I forgot that this actually had a lot of weight and stuff.
Yeah, they realize the conclusion is coming, so they kind of like take their time with it.
Yeah. Like we wanted to have a balance between like tough bits and nice bits. So like we have like a tougher chapter like this here, and then we have like a nice chapter like the breakfast and stuff. So yeah, like content warning, it's gonna get rough.
Okay.
It was nice to be fed and asleep in my own bed. Although it felt like a coffin, so dark and empty outside. That was like my partner's first experience in Donegal. Like he thought he just wasn't used to not having lights outside the window. I like this song. This song reminds me by Tumela reminds me of Kid A by Radiohead. Same kind of like vibe to it. And here actually you can see like the post processing is coming down. It's almost like rain.
Yeah.
I just want to say about the chairs in this scene. I went through like my family's photo albums from the 90s to see like what kind of furniture was in my kitchen and my auntie's kitchen and stuff. So that's what they're based on.
That's class.
A lot of the furniture in houses is based on that.
Yeah, I really like there was like a real like 90s vibe to the kitchen, like seeing it and stuff.
Yeah.
And the clothes, like it's interesting to see. My wee pet, what are you doing awake at this hour? we added in like these dialogue scenes. They were kind of like a breakup from just the chatty, and like this is where it started to become more visual novelty. I love like the way this reveals at the edges. That looks class.
Yeah. That line always makes me laugh.
Which one?
Okay, well done, Luke. Cassio. Just being like, what does this have to do with me?
This scene in black and white looks
I
really
know,
nice.
of course she knows.
I really like this
Yeah.
style.
I think that's Bree's work.
Yeah, the coloring.
Mm.
That's awesome. Here was like our clever reuse of assets where we had like the same art with like a filter.
Yeah.
We also had to make this next bit really clear, so there was like sometimes people thought that Breach was a version of Cassio, so we had to kind of like tweak that around so that I think it's this shot here. It's kind of more clearly Breach talking to her daughter.
So initially, when you erase through, or when Cassio gets kind of erased through here, Breed's face was directly behind hers,
right?
And now you can see it to the right because, yeah, as you said, people thought that it was like another version of Cassio instead of
it was short hair and stuff.
Yeah, and we didn't want to.
I wonder, like, for people watching this, I wonder how much we should talk about the mechanics. I guess we've been like taking this like kind of behind the scenes tour.
Yeah.
But maybe we should like pitch the game. I think this is the point where, you know, it's like your inciting incident that it's like the story starts to kind of come together. Like this, the earlier stuff is kind of just setting up the scene, you know, both setting up there's space stuff to come, but also setting up Cassio. I love these like background Cassios. And then this is the scene that kind of kicks the story off, where it's Cassio kind of not being able to sleep, you know, stuck in her own house, and thinking about what she's going to say to her mom, and like maybe come out. And her mom just very much misreading the room a little bit, and her kind of anxieties kind of come to the fore as well. A nice like speech bubbles. You can see the wobbliness on it. We put wobbly thickness on most things. You know, we didn't have the time or budget to animate everything, so it's like, let's wobbly it. Ungrateful Wayne. How come Wayne didn't have an annotation?
I don't know. No one caught it, I guess, as a potential annotation word.
When we did some of the nicer scenes,
there was that line originally, "Ungrateful Wayne" was originally "Ungrateful Brat."
Right.
And it got changed because we thought it was too like
American.
harsh. Yeah, it's a lot meaner.
Yeah.
If she says brat.
Yeah. I love this.
Yeah.
Showed up Calm's door, soaked to the bone, in my head. Here you can also see like the bit of parallax, which is nice. You know, there's like a few scenes where this becomes obvious, where it's all moving at different speeds. And it's nice to like erase something and see a different view on it. Were things like that hard to draw, Leah?
No, not really.
That's good.
I like drawing doors, so it might be
Nice.
obvious. There's a lot of doors.
Yeah,
It was also very, very tricky for us to like make sure that people erased where we want to reveal new things.
Yeah.
So it's not always super duper clear how to design that.
Was there anything you think that we did, Tim or Eve, to make people erase things?
A lot of playtesting, honestly, I think.
Yeah.
Right? It was a lot of like playing scenes over and over again and like seeing if it felt.
And also,
I love this scene.
yeah, this is great. We decided in the scribbles. I think
It was
also
like this. We wanted to like minimize the amount of full screen erases that people had to do.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, just have it be the minimum with you not missing anything. Hello.
Yeah.
Anyone? Come on, answer me.
I think it's cool how the speech bubbles change for the space section.
Yeah.
It took us ages to like get the right feel for the speech bubbles. I remember like a day or a couple of days, Llaura, when you and I were like messing around with different options, trying to get like the vibe right, but I'm really happy with the result.
What is the original texture? Like, it looks really cool here. Like, it's all like like
I
oily.
think it's one of the like ink drop drawings.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we did like a lot of the art you see in these space scenes is taken from like physical things that we did, like playing around with like ink and water and like creating all kinds of weird effects. And a lot of that actually was done by really cool like English game maker Claire Morley, who helped us out like for a few weeks. And she did so much art, we were like digging into it. We didn't even really get very far into it, but we were using it for like the next like year or so.
I mean, it's great. It turns up in all kinds of like background ways that people probably wouldn't notice, but it really informs the texture of the game.
Yeah. Here's like one of Tim's effects as well, with the warping of the black hole around the edges here. One of the first things you did for us, Tim, actually was like a whole black hole thing, wasn't it? That was like your test.
Yeah, a little trial test.
Yeah, that was fun.
And I think a campfire when we had that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's still a campfire in the game, just kind of as a nod, but at one point in the game, there'd be a campfire in between every scene. I suppose instead of the diary. But then we kind of decided that, well, one, we didn't want to be flashing back constantly, and then two, we wanted to see all the days of the month, so, like, the diary kind of came out of that. I think we should play a little bit into this scene before we hop to the end, actually. Is it? Sure. This is gonna go straight to... Yeah, this is like a nice scene. And this is one of the oldest ones that's like, kind of still recognizable in how it's in there. I love this effect where it's like, it takes a texture and kind of like crosses it on top of itself.
Yeah.
It was actually done by John O'Kane on a test day that he did for us. Or no, actually it wasn't. It was like a thing we asked him to do. He's like an Irish game maker, working at Romero Games at the moment, and worked on Fungus, which this game uses for text and stuff. But yeah, it's interesting. Like, there's so many like old bits of this game that kind of like stuck around, and then things that we kind of came back to at some point when we knew what we were doing.
Any sequence like that 3-beat of Casio where you get to erase something and it's almost like you're doing a little stop motion animation yourself are like my favorite bits of the game. I love that the player gets to do those kinds of things. I think it's so fun. Yeah,
it's really comic-y. It is very much like a comic. There's panel.
Yeah.
I think you know, we had so much text in the game that it's like we weren't able to like split all that up as much as we wanted, probably. Here you can also see, like, I had an erase down here, but it just faded out the rest of it, so we don't miss it, which is nice.
Yeah, like, the deluxe hyper-illustrated version of It Found, where Leah had an extra 5 years to...
or an extra arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it's really cool. It's like, it's really unique. Here you can see Aran Vjog. Where was that supposed to be? Like the little island on this jumper?
I think it was based on a friend's Gaeltacht jumper. Maybe.
Oh, that's cute.
I can't remember.
That's Irish for small island for anyone who doesn't speak Irish, which is probably most of ye.
Yeah.
And all of us.
I'm suddenly reminded of like the shenanigans we spent like trying to get the house geometry and stuff to be kind of right. Like we did eventually, because I think we were well into development when we finally sat down and drew a floor plan of the house, and then we had to go back and check.
Yeah, but then I would go and flip the art, because I'm pretty sure this was drawn the other way, was it, Leah?
Yeah, a lot of drawings in the scene are flipped.
Sorry.
Good, but also relieved that they look okay.
No, they look great.
Because I don't do that myself.
Yeah. Is this one flipped?
No.
Oh, okay. Because, yeah, you redrew this one, didn't you?
Yeah, that one I redrew.
And here we have like a little thing that guides the player. This section's kind of cool. This is like one of the other mechanics we got to kind of explore. Like, the first versions of the game had free movement where you'd use like different buttons to, I think it was like right click to drag move and left click to erase, and then mouse wheel to zoom in. It was just really complicated, but as we kind of got closer to release, we wanted to add in some of these other sections where you could move around a little bit. So yeah, there's a nice few places like this, I think.
Also a speedrunning strat. If you're careful, you can skip right to the end of this section.
Yeah.
It's also very useful for playtesting.
Here's one of those like changing emotions between them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chance is really sweet. I like this one here where they're at. Oh, not this one. I mean, I do like this one too. I like all of it. But this one where they're all at the breakfast table.
Remember, Laura, when we did the playtest and there was one tester that instead of erasing like with a normal eraser, they just clicked individual clicks.
Oh, they did this.
And that broke our entire game.
Yeah, so we had to like make sure it worked if you did that.
Yes.
You know who you are. No, they probably don't.
We never played like that.
Yeah, it's like what twisted person would play with like clicks rather than holding it down.
I guess, you know, it is one way to play.
Yeah, I'll skip through these a little bit. But yeah, this is just nice, getting some nice moments. Kind of Cassio coming into a new world a little bit. Oh, that's a really nice column. But here you can see the collage of like, this is drawn at a totally different scale and probably in a totally different scenario than than it has been used. Oh, this is one of the nicest ones. This is a really good one. We always had the kind of like the band moving in scene. That was one that kind of stuck around for ages, but when we came to closer to the final story, like as happens with a lot of your individual scenes, start doing multiple things. So here it was kind of Cassio moving in and, you know, meeting these people as well. So yeah, this is more colors by Brie, which is really nice.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, she did a really incredible job on this scene.
I like you get there's like the just like home line as well. It's like the bittersweetness of it. Here we just erase it. Ooh, the music comes in. Here's one of the most Irishy references with the toy show. And Boyzone in the background.
Yeah.
It's also one of the few places where we break historical continuity.
Mm-hmm.
The date that this takes place on is the wrong date for the toy show.
Oh.
Not that literally anyone would care. Except
in 1993.
Who knows? Yeah.
Oh, so I don't think that Boyzone poster came out.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Yeah, like were Boyzone like together at that point? How they just started?
But
okay.
not that poster.
There is like there is some things that are accurate, like what was on the TV and stuff, like Into the West, the movie, and then on Christmas Day, E.T. and stuff. So we were looking up like TV guides and stuff from the time.
Shout out to an incredible Facebook group that has like historical TV guides for Ireland from the 1990s, which was a valuable resource. And general shout out to like all of the people who archive and preserve stuff like that on the internet.
Oh, I know.
Which writers would be much less precise and accurate.
It's kind of scary though. It's like I feel like it's easier to preserve like physical things like guides and like how much of like the internet of that is like saved.
Yeah.
Or games that are online only.
Yeah, like there's a lot of like, okay, if your game was released for like the Nintendo or like a console and it was a cartridge, you know, but if your game was released for Flash, or it was an online download, there's a lot less saving it.
Yeah, or the servers are no longer there.
Yeah. The game is like an MMO.
Preservation and archive issues with that, so yeah.
This is a really nice scene. This is actually kind of funny because it's like a not quite as close version of a scene that comes later with Chance and Cassio where they're like chilling out together, but it shows just their relationship developing, which is really cool.
Yeah. Honestly, the scenes where the two of them just get to breathe and talk to each other are so fun.
Yeah.
I love those backgrounds.
Yeah, they're really cute, and they're so expressive, like with such like, you know, scant line.
It tiles so nicely as well. Like it's so, I don't know, it's really good.
Yeah, I love these effects where like things are just moving. That was what was really fun about making this game, honestly. We were just making like loads of little scenes like this constantly.
I love that drawing.
Yeah, it's good.
Um,
And this one too. I love all the drawings. Okay, we'll skip to the. I think it'd be curious for some people. I think like if you haven't played the game before, you should totally go play it. I think it is special to play. And here we're getting an achievement. Nice. You'll get achievements if you play it yourself. Only on Steam though.
And trading cards.
And trading cards, yes.
And trading cards.
But I think there's something special about, like, you know, because we're obviously playing this and we're commenting on it. We're not reading the text in the story. And, like, you can do that with a Let's Play, I guess. But I think there's something, and there's a communal aspect. But I think there's something nice about playing it yourself, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's, like, the first time that you're going to go through it, it's probably best to focus on it and have it be an individual experience, or, yeah.
Yeah, so you can see how far we came. But... yeah, it's like 2 hours and a half, I'd say, especially if you want to do, there's like a bonus scene at the end. What happens now, which I love, is like my favorite part. But I think for the people who have played it before, we might like do a little bonus extra where we show some of the ending of the game where the mechanics like change up a lot. So close your eyes if you haven't played the game.
Spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning.
Wii U.
This book belongs to... Look, we're calling back to the start. I wanted to have a place. It was in the trailer. We didn't really end up putting it in because I think it just wasn't a priority. Where Cassia was like writing her name all over the diary, kind of like figuring it out. Why's my camera jumping? So here, like in the final scene before this, you know, Cassia kind of reaches like a really rough spot where she's trying to erase herself, and even the game takes over for a bit and helps her with it. And then she starts being able to like reveal herself with a pencil as opposed to an eraser. And these mechanics, you know, like there was a lot of experimentation to figure this stuff out. Like we had the erasing stuff for a long time, but this took a while to get right. Like Tim, you tried a lot of different writing mechanics, right?
Yeah, and we had to then redo it again for the Switch because there's no mouse.
Yeah, like you can touch the screen on the Switch, like to erase and to like put stuff down.
Yeah,
I like the Switch
like the
version.
tappy tap too.
Yeah, it's really good.
Words. Yeah, but yeah, for iterations for this, that was quite a while. We had like one where we had like a bunch of text and images and like a sidebar that you can drag and drop in.
Yeah, you drag them
in the scene.
And they'd like go in different directions and stuff.
Yeah, and we'll constantly shift whenever you play something. Like everything will get reshuffled, and you have new choices to make.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is more refined now.
Yeah, definitely. Like I always wanted to have, you know, it was always in there to have like the writing and the creation and stuff. And yeah, also having the choice, like you go through this like, you know, quite linear game where Cassio, you know, much like the player, doesn't seem to have much choice, you know, besides how you feel about it and how you approach like individual scenes. But here you start to like have opinions of your own, which is kind of nice.
Is there like one canon solution?
Nah.
No, not really.
In fact, I remember us deliberately having a conversation about the space scenes in this and in the bonus epilogue,
mm-hmm.
and about wanting them to feel like equally canon, right?
Yeah.
Like that they.
Well, yeah, I think that none of them are contradictory of those scenes, really.
Yeah.
Well, I know what you mean. Yeah, there's choices where like what happens could be very different a little bit. This was nice. So yeah, there's like all those bonus extra scenes. Originally you could put them in here, but it was kind of just better to make it clearer what happens and just give you like one story that wraps up the Mac and Cassiopeia story, and then one that wraps up Cassio a little bit.
Yeah, I mean that's what it's talking about. Yeah, originally like the first released version of this, you had like 3 different choices, but you were picking out of like 14 different stories, I think. And we dialed that back and we were like, okay, for this section, you're just going to get 2 specific entries that are the most essential to help you understand the complete story.
This
And
is
then the rest. Yeah.
this is some of the last art, Leah. How did it feel like coming back to this art like a month or so later and doing these extra drawings?
What I think about when I look at these drawings is I was so good at drawing that at that time because I was so like in the flow of it or something of like how to draw them and stuff. And when I look at
Right.
them now, I'm like, oh my god.
So you've been drawing them for so long. Yeah.
And it was kind of like a nice like because it was like the finale and stuff. There's like and drawing like characters you've been on a journey with. It's like very rewarding to draw them like that.
Yeah, it's cool. And here we get to yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
You go on. I was just gonna say here we get to see what Cassie looks like, or how we imagine
Yeah,
her.
I hope we're the only game that has a character creator at the end of the game.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
One thing that's really interesting, and that I've actually had conversations with people who've played the game about, is whether you think that this is you making you, or whether you think that this is you making Cassia. Some people do see it as like a chance to express themselves and like to make a version of themselves,
cool.
which I think is really
Definitely, yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen enough like profile pictures on Twitter of people making like the if found version of themselves.
Yeah, definitely. People love like expressing themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also like the little draw you can draw on top of things here, but yeah, I think this is just like, this was like a very last minute thing we added into the game too. One thing that like was like a nice little detail that we got Brie to add, because it wasn't quite like coming together, was like we asked Brie to add in like this like little bit of texture so it seemed more like it was like scribbled in rather than just solid color.
Yeah.
Trans rights, achievement unlocked. Here, I want to take a screenshot. And then here you can like scribble over everything. I love this. Yeah, this took a lot of time to get right too.
Yeah.
Although we didn't end up using it that much in the end, I guess, to write the name. Cool. I think that's a pretty good place to leave it. Actually, the music is worth talking about as well. I think it's really neat. It's like a piece by Ensemble Iru. Yeah. And all very good.
Me being nepotistic and
your
shoving my
friends.
acquaintances into the game.
No, it was perfect. Like we reached out to her. Can you pronounce her name for us?
Salog. Yeah.
Salog Nikianavoin. And like she's just an incredible singer. And we reached out originally to be like, hey, we want to get some like Shando singing for the game. And then she was like, oh, I've done this, like something like this. And I was like, okay, that's perfect. Bye. Nah. It was great. I think like the miracle of games is like how they all come together, I think we scared Annapurna a little bit with how much we were adding in kind of like at the last minute, much like the character creator being one of them. But like they were very delighted with how it came together, and they were like they said we pulled it off, which is good, and I'm very happy. And like the effect that it has on people is the main thing,
Yeah.
Anyone got any other last thoughts?
Don't think so. Thank you to everyone who watched this. We really appreciate you taking the time to check out the video.
Yeah, this is gonna be looping all day. We're going to be doing a Q&A as well, so if you're watching this, it's probably too late to submit questions for the Q&A, but if you're psychic,
Please look forward to Q&A.
please send a question to the Q&A a couple days ago. That would be great. And we can answer any of like so much like technical stuff they don't get to see, but I'm gonna do a making of next. It's like a talk I gave a couple months ago, so I'll record that and put it up, and we'll do the Q&A as well. We'll see what it all likes.
Yeah.
Follow us on Twitter on Dreamfield X. You can find it on Facebook there. Leah is Liddh, and you can find the rest of us from like the Dreamfield Liadh. Yeah, thanks. And you can find the rest of us from like the Dreamfield X Twitter. We're currently working on our new game. We hope to share stuff about that later in the year. It's going to be pretty different, I find, in some ways. Hopefully it's still cool and gay. But yeah, I find it's a really cool project. And yeah, thanks for playing it and liking it. And if you haven't played it, you should go play it. I think you'll like it. If you got this far, you're gonna like it. So
Yeah, definitely.
tell your friends, tell your parents. I mean, that's one thing I'm really happy with, that how accessible the game is, you know? Like, we really did, like Tim said at the start, you know, the mechanics kind of teach themselves. So as long as you can use a mouse or, like, a finger, if you have a touchscreen, then you're good. Tim, do you have any thoughts on all of it?
Yeah, it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
And, you know, especially as the pretty much only programmer. Yeah, we managed it.
Well, you
So
started off
great.
with my like spaghetti code, you know. You came in with everything that I had coded before, which was not even like code for a single game. It was like code for all of the projects that made up parts of Ifan before that.
Yeah, that was.
It was fun.
There's still some of it left, to be honest. I
Some
never
of it's
actually
nice.
got the time to get rid of it.
I like these bits at the edge. These are really nice. Yeah. So yeah, thanks everyone. Take care. Be kind and rewind and be well. Bye.
See you.
Thank you.
See ya. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.